going on, everyone? Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Will Ortner, and the Chargers have just started their final week of OTA practice. Obviously, next week they're going to have mandatory mini camp. So we're breaking down kind of the big news and notes that we were able to get from media members that were at OTAs just yesterday. I do want to ask you, though, right now, who has impressed you the most during OTAs? I understand that you haven't necessarily been able to see every video. You haven't been able to read every report. You haven't been able to set eyes on all of these players so far. But you've heard rumors. You've watched the videos that we do here at Chargers Now. So you've been able to pick up on some certain things. Let us know what player, in your opinion, has impressed you the most by the reports that you've gotten on them throughout OTAs. Big OTA news here. Omarion Hampton was able to return to practice. Now, he had missed some time dealing with an injury. Now, he wasn't not practicing. He was just kind of doing his own practice off to the side, which is something that does happen pretty frequently with players that do end up getting injured, or, hey, they want to have them out there at practice, but they want to have them on their own set schedule, something a little different than Chargers fans might have wanted to hear for Hampton. Now, we did get to see him out on the field. There he is talking with offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel and McCaffrey, his running back coach. Hampton, he ended up going through a lot of the drills with the first team. Now, it is OTAs, so it's not like you're out there banging each other. It is a lot more of a non-contact drills, running through, maybe a light wrap-up here or there, really just getting hands on a player. Omarion Hampton is someone that had some success last year when he was able to get out on the field. You can see the initial offerings of someone that's going to end up being a star player in Los Angeles, but he is certainly someone, in my opinion, that we can see an even greater second season, not just because Hampton is going to grow as a player, but because he's going to be in a better offense suited to his skill set. I think that Omarion Hampton is someone that is going to be able to show a lot of different people just how talented he is. Now, the big thing is going to be for this Chargers team, making sure that he stays healthy. And the best way to do that is, one, make sure that he's not getting slammed into the ground consistently, but also make sure that Hampton is someone that is rotating in his reps, so that way he's staying as fresh as possible. The offensive line is continuing to progress. Now, there were some interesting news and notes from the offensive line that we're going to dive into a greater detail on tomorrow's video, but there were still some key things that I wanted to point out. ESPN's Chris Rim does a fantastic job of covering the Los Angeles Chargers. He was going through the starting offensive line for the Chargers with Justin Herbert. Very interesting to see Coyote Oshika, someone that has grown a lot, it looks like, over this offseason with the Chargers. He went from someone that was supposed to be a depth piece to now we're talking about him being a legitimate candidate to be the starting left guard for this Los Angeles Chargers team, something that is important to note. Now, I know a lot of Chargers fans are going to say, Will, how was Slater doing? He is someone that also did get to rotate in with this group. He did a lot of work at that center position with the two group, also getting a lot of reps as well over there at left guard. Now, we know that Slaughter is someone that is going to certainly contend to getting some playing time, and we do believe that, at least right now, this is still going to be the projected starting lineup for the Los Angeles Chargers going into the 2026 NFL season. But from all of the things that we are learning right now, it's not Oshika and Cole Strange that are battling for the right guard spot. It's more like Oshika and Jake Slaughter are battling for the left guard slot. And it certainly feels like right now that Oshika has the upper hand. Now, it is important to also remember with a guy like Jake Slaughter, he's someone that played center when he was in college. So he does have to learn an entirely new position. And I do like that the Chargers are not just giving him that starting spot right away. You got to go and earn it, kid. And that's something that I certainly think that he would be able to do. The more and more that I look at this offensive line crew, though, the more and more I do get excited about it. Like I said, make sure that you come back tomorrow. We have a very fantastic video on that offensive line crew. Hit the thumbs up button if you are excited for how well this offense is starting to look. So much more to get into on today's program, but first I need to let you know that it's made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. and it's the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball here, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at PrizePicks. I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a PrizePicks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. If you're more of a seam head, you could choose stats such as hits, home runs, and strikeouts. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature, where you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app, at BigWill7774, to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the basketball action going on later on this week. Dylan Harper, more on his points, rebounds, and assists. Jalen Brunson, more on his points. New user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. No Ladd McConkey out there for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, is this something that should be terrifying? No, but he is someone that is dealing with an injury, clearly, because he has not been out there practicing. And this is not the first practice that McConkey has missed. Obviously, Chris Rim, he does a fantastic job of covering the team, and so he's done a great job of reporting when he's seen McConkey out there with the team and when he is not. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that next year is a make-or-break year for McConkey, but you saw a big regression in him between his first year and his second year in Los Angeles. Now, some of that I think is because of guys getting beat up. Some of that is because of the offense that was being run. Some of it is because teams were able to kind of figure out the way that the Chargers wanted to use McConkey and figure out a way that they were able to stop it. But I'm telling you right now, the more and more that I look at McConkey, the more and more I want him out on the field. But I'm not worried yet. It's June, guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a guy missing some practice reps in June, especially a guy of McConkey's stature, is going to kill him. That's just wrong, and I'd be lying to you to get views. That's what real clickbait is. But it is something that is interesting to take note of. Right now, when we look at that Chargers wide receiver depth chart, McConkey, he's someone that is a starter for this team, someone that I do think is going to be able to grow a lot in this offense. This is a perfect time for a lot of those younger guys, though, to come in and make sure that they're getting big-time reps and taking advantage of those reps. So that way, if they get an opportunity to come in and play for McConkey or play for someone else, they're able to execute at a high level. This could be a perfect position for a guy that we're not talking about right now. Either A, put themselves in a position to make the team because they are a solid backup, or B, put themselves into a position where they are getting on the field consistently and getting balls thrown their way. Always take advantage when you are able to get extra reps. At least that's what my old offensive line coach used to say to me. Another thing that was interesting, Justin Herbert did not throw again. Now, what does this mean for the Los Angeles Chargers? A whole lot of, I don't want to say nothing, but it is something, again, interesting to take note of. Herbert has been very clear that he needs to work on his technique. Now, is Mike McDaniel completely changing the way that he plays football? Because I think that a couple of people do believe that. That's not true. But they are adjusting slightly how Justin Herbert sees the football field. And I do actually think it is a good thing for Herbert. He didn't end up throwing. Could be working through some injury stuff. Again, I'm okay with that. He's working on his footwork, his technique. He's using the green ball to kind of simulate some of that stuff. But to me, it's about finding ways for him not to get hurt. You need to be able, as a quarterback in this offense, to have the timing down pat. How do you get the timing down pat? By having your footwork be perfect. Look, the offensive line was horrific last year, but to sit here and say that every single hit wasn't on Justin Herbert would be slightly incorrect. So you're learning a new offense that requires different footwork. Plus, Mike McDaniel is looking at Justin Herbert and saying, hey, man, I can find a way to keep you upright. How do you do that? By using your feet efficiently and using the technique the correct way. I love to see that from Justin Herbert. I don't need to see him throw 60-yard touchdown bombs in OTAs. I need to see him throw 60-yard touchdown bombs in September, in October, in November, but really I need to see him do it in January and hopefully get to see him do it in February. If this is how good Justin Herbert was last year, and I'm telling you right now, that's a pretty darn good season for the type of issues that he had to deal with on that team, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what he will be like this upcoming year. We're in the final week of OTAs, man. There's going to be some news. We'll have a winners and losers video out for you guys at the end of the week as well. So make sure that you keep your eyes peeled. But this is a time for a lot of guys to ball out. There are only so many opportunities that these players have before training camp, and those opportunities are quickly running out. Because once mandatory minicamp ends, you aren't going to see a lot of these players on the field until training camp begins. And that's not until the middle of July. These players need to take the advantage of every single opportunity that they can right here, right now, because it's going to pay off big time for them in the long run if they take advantage of all those reps. What player are you most excited to see play next season? It could be someone that is injured. It could be someone that had a great year last year. It could be someone that is brand new to the team. It could be someone that was just drafted to the team. Let us know what player you are most excited to see out on the field. I cannot wait to hear who you guys end up coming up with. I think for me, it's Justin Herbert. Now, that's because I've been following him since he was an Oregon Duck, but I just like the way the kid plays, and I'm tired of the national media hate that he gets because it's unjust. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got you covered on all the news around the Los Angeles Chargers all year long. Thank you guys for viewing the video. Go tell someone that you love them, and as always, Bolt up.